Okay, it is hotter than hell right now. Um, Air conditioner is not working, and I'm just fiddling around with the equipment that I have to see if I can even do this. But I'm gonna try. Um, Things are off centered just because I want it that way for now. Um, no real reason to stare at me. Just telling stories of past encounters that I've had. Um, I guess you would say they're paranormal. Um, and this one I'm going to talk about uh, my Bigfoot experience. And I don't want to look at myself or anything because it's uh, making me lose my track of thought here. Anyway, just look at my pretty lights and my wall decoration. While I'm saying this, just listen. Don't I need to look at me or anything. Anyway, this happened back in the mid 90s. I'm not sure, I can't remember which year. Um, I want to say 95 or 96, but it could have been 97. I don't know. Now that I'm older, my brain is kind of going, duh, brain fog, whatever. And this heat is killing me right now. Um, anyway, I was living in uh, Columbus, Ohio at the time, and my boyfriend back then in the mid 90s, we decided to take a little road trip uh, out east to a place called Flint Ridge State Forest, I guess. Um, and we took my dog. So it's just him and me and the dog. And it was like springtime. I want to say it was like probably sometime in April, end of April, maybe mid April, or maybe even early May. Um, it rained during our trek from Columbus to Flint Ridge. Um, so that made things a little harder on us for hiking because we went there, we liked going on nature hiking trails and stuff. So we found this one hiking trail to go on. Um, and we get there, there's like a little parking lot, and there was a few other cars there and a few other people uh, getting out, walking around, and there was this clearing right next to the hiking trail we were going to go on, and it had stopped raining maybe about 10 or 15 minutes before we got there, so things were still kind of wet. And there was these two, not too big. I mean, they were kind of big, but they were these two things that looked like stick huts um, out in the clearing, and there was the forest was circled all the way around the clearing and the parking lot. Um, and so we were kind of just looking at these stick huts and not, we didn't go towards it. We were just kind of looking at it near the hiking trail. And there was a couple other people kind of walking slowly over to it, trying to figure out what it was, I guess. I mean, well, by now we all know what like the stick huts look like that I guess Bigfoot builds to, you know, stay inside of or whatever. And I mean, there was just two large ones. They looked pretty well made, I guess, considering what they were and all. But then we just started down the hiking trail, and it was a very steep slope. Uh, we were being real careful because it was like, because it's called Flint Ridge, there's flint rock and flint stones all over the place. So on this dirt trail, we were trying to walk down this very steep slope. We were sliding on the mud and on the flint rocks and the flint stones, whatever you want to call them. So we were just trying to be careful walking down slowly down the hill, without falling on our butts, getting muddy butts. Um, just walking around. We didn't get too far. Um, we may have gotten mm, almost halfway down the hill. It was a pretty long trail, straight down slope. Um, and we heard this like commotion back on top of the hill behind us, coming from the area where we saw those stick huts. And it was like this growling, um, and a roar, but it didn't like sound really like an animal. It sounded just like, I don't know, men goofing around or whatever. Um, but the thing about it was is how it like kind of echoed. The frequency of the sound was unusually loud and guttural and throaty, um, deep. Uh, mm, Men usually can't get quite that sound out of them. Normal sized men. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. It was just like something like that. Just weird. Just people screaming, at the top of the hill. Um, we really, it didn't really register with us. We were just not really tuned in or whatever. We didn't know what the hell was going on. We're just like, what the hell? And we didn't really think much of it. Um, we just, the sound, though, and us, I guess, walking down or slide, all kind of slip sliding down that hill, um, startled a really large deer, a large um, white-tailed doe, and she was already in her summer coat, basically. I mean, I didn't see too much gray on her. She was already pretty red. So it was definitely springtime, going, mid-spring or something. I don't know. Cause yeah, she didn't have her gray coat for her winter coat. She had her spring summer coat, her red, and she barked and she popped up out of this like brush next to the side of the the hiking trail. She scared the hell out of us. Uh, we don't know if we scared her or if that sound and the screaming we heard at the top of the hill scared her. We didn't even know she was there. That's why she scared us. She was very well hidden right next to the trail. Just jumped right up, barked, and leaped right in front of us and took off into the brush. And then we heard something just coming out of the, just like I don't know. I don't even know how to explain. I thought it was another deer or something just crashing down the hill through the brush, um, behind us. Um, and we looked up the hill through the brush, and this thing, um, the only way I can describe this is it looked like maybe like a 13-year-old boy dressed up in a monkey suit or something. And he just kind of looked like a bigger version of Chaka. If you've ever watched Land of the Lost, if you're as old as I am, and an old 70s kids show that was on Saturday mornings or whatever. And they had this like little ape boy, Chaka. Well, he just looked like a taller, bigger version of Chaka. Um, he's like running down this hill at breakneck speeds, just crashing through the forest, through all the brush and everything, and he's not falling. He's not sliding, he's not slipping, he's not tripping, he's not falling. He's just running really fast down the hill. And he ran, like right past us. And we're still hearing people behind us screaming and running back to their cars and just peeling out of there, just like, you hear them like squealing on the concrete, taking off down the roads, or just like in a hurry. And this thing just runs right past us. I'm just standing there. We're just like looking at it like, okay. And it was about between 12 to 14 feet away from us. It wasn't that far away. And it was my height probably around at that time, like 5'8", 5'9", maybe 5'10". Not too tall. Like just there's some like 13-year-old boys that can be that tall. Um, but yeah, just it was weird. I didn't know what to make of it. We were just kind of like dumbfounded. Like it didn't scare us or anything. We were just like, okay, what the hell? And there was like a family, um, a man, a woman, and a boy and a girl. The boy and girl were pretty young, and they were way ahead of us on the hiking trail, and they were all the way down towards the bottom of the hill. So this thing starts crashing towards them, running down the hill, directed at them, and so we hear them screaming, um, and running back up towards the hill, towards us. Um, and we're just standing there. We didn't move at all. We were just like, what's going on? We were not prepared for this at all. My dog was totally calm too. He wasn't freaking out at all. And then this man and woman and their two little kids that are with them are like bolting up this hill, sliding and everything, trying to get up towards us and back up to their car and whatever. White as ghosts, crying. And I'm just like, oh my God. And because I'm so like in a daze about it or something, and we're both just kind of I said to them, "What's wrong?" Um, and the man and the woman were just like, "Oh my God, go back up the hill, go back to your car. Oh, come on, kids!" And they're like dragging the kids up and going past us, and the girl is just like crying big time, bawling, and the boy was crying a little bit. And then she said, as she passed me, she said, Bigfoot! Bigfoot! It's a Bigfoot! And then I'm just like, that was a Bigfoot? There wasn't like some kind of bullshit going on up there where people are just goofing around with each other, um, getting dressed in monkey suits and just trying to scare people for the hell of it. But we were in a pretty remote place. Um, so maybe that was real. Um, and then my boyfriend says to me, "Y- Why didn't you take some pictures of it?" And I looked down and I realized I was holding my camera. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, why didn't I take some pictures of it? Like, that's why I brought the camera to take pictures of things, and I was always taking pictures of things. Didn't matter what, just I used to take a lot of pictures of stuff, and I still do. This was before we had all this extra technology to work with. We didn't have uh, remote. I don't know what are they called. We didn't have phones. We didn't have camera phones or phones. Um, and I brought my little 35 millimeter flash camera with me, ox camera with like a roll of film in it, and it just, of all things, that just pissed me off to no end is that I did not take any pictures of it, and it moved down the hill so fast. I assume that if I did get any pictures of it, the picture, even though it was close to us, like I said, it was only about 12 feet away, 14 at the most, they still would have been so blurry. I don't even know how I would have gotten any decent action shots with something moving that fast. They would still probably turn out really blurry. Um, so we went back up the hiking trail, get at the top of the hill to see what in the world's going on. There's still a few people left, not many. I mean, everybody just took off, and we asked a couple of people that were just standing there looking totally dumbfounded. What the hell just happened? We were on the trail. We saw something run right past us and it looked like a kid in a monkey suit or something. And the one guy said there were two of them. And he said the one you saw uh, was a young one, not full grown. Um, the other one that ran in the opposite direction was huge. He said the thing was like 9 feet tall and had darker brown hair. And it just like it like they were in the huts. They said the things were they were hiding in those stick huts, and the people got too close. So like the big one jumped out and like roared and growled at all the people, and they started screaming and running away. And then it took off running across the field, across the clearing into um, the forest on that side. And then the little one came out of its hut and ran in our direction. And that one had lighter colored hair. It had like, I guess you'd say like tan, sandy colored, light brown hair with red in it, similar to usually what my hair color is. Um, so we missed seeing thing, this other one that was like 9 feet tall. Um, they said it looked like it weighed around probably like 600 pounds or something. They said it was extremely huge. And it scared the hell out of everybody, but they like stayed behind to watch to see if it would come back up out of the forest and into the clearing again. But no, it just that thing was gone, and so was the other one. So that's basically my Bigfoot story. So mm, if you have any of your own, share them with me around the time you saw them, where you saw them, um, whatever, because it's very interesting. And when my mom found out I saw Bigfoot, she was so pissed off because she always wanted to see a Bigfoot. That's like her thing. Bigfoot was her thing. Bigfoot is not really my thing because I'm like, I was thinking, what if that thing wants to come after me and hurt me, kill me, or something? I don't know what, but I was like, at that rate, I'd rather run into a bear. I don't know. But it was just weird how we weren't scared, but everybody else was. They were so freaked out. But we were just like, ah, we saw a Bigfoot.